So we're talking about detox today and heavy metals and what you can do to basically keep yourself from toxins, but also when you are exposed to toxins, which all of us are, we have to be super aware of what do we do in terms of the toxic load that's just in our world, in our environment, and how can we keep ourselves healthy in a world like this? And what can we do to detox? What can we do to stay healthy? What can we do to get rid of some of these symptoms that might seem really weird? Like, why do I keep having fatigue? I can't find a solution, or what's going on with my health?
Right.
So there's a lot of questions out there to why these health challenges are going on, and detoxing can be a really amazing answer and solution, and heavy metals can be a culprit that we aren't often taught about or we don't know much about. So we want to give you some really good information today to help you to process through all that and get the answers that you're looking for and find some really good solutions. So Dr. Gary.
I think, yeah.
Well,
welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, I'm
And
Dr.
tell us who
Gary
you are.
Arthur, here since 1987. My wife and I moved down from Santa Cruz, and we thought we'd just be in Laguna for 3 years, and that was 33 years ago, almost 34. And so I'm a doctor of chiropractic. My wife and I were going to become naturopathic doctors, but at that time in the 80s, it wasn't legal to be a naturopathic doctor in California, and we wanted to come back to our home state and be, somewhere here. So since then, we've gone on through continuing education, gotten our naturopathic degrees. And it's been such a blessing to be able to work with so many people and try to figure out, why is their body not healing? If the body is designed to heal itself, and you think about the miracle that two cells came together, one from mom, one from dad, and the miracle of life happened when they came together. And then over the course of 9 months, this innate intelligence formed us, formed our nervous system, formed everything about us, and out came the masterpiece 9 months later. You think about the incredible innate intelligence that still is functioning in our body. A healthy body makes 2.5 million red blood cells every second, 2.5 million, 250,000 white blood cells every second, 250,000, 250,000, 250,000. It's an amazing body, 657 functions of the liver isolated alone. And then you look at the fact that there's over 84,000 known chemicals that we're exposed to in this world.
Wow.
based on what's going on with manufacturing and life in this day and age, where before, native indigenous peoples didn't have anywhere near that. So it can really confuse our bodies and confuse our attempts to get well when we have all this toxic load. And that was really what prompted us to, want to do this webinar. And so, I think maybe just a little bit of a history. I think the book that turned my life around was one I read when I was a senior in high school. It was The Miracle of Fasting by Paul Bragg. And I did my first water fast when I was in 12th grade, did 3 days on water. Dr. Bragg did 10 days on water, and I've done a 10-day on water, done all kinds of different fasts and cleanses, 21 day without food twice, and doing all kinds of different things. Because I had heavy metal toxicity.
How'd you know that?
Problems. Well, it was interesting, but I had a bunch of dental work done when I was in college, and I needed a root canal. I had a bad toothache, and I went to the clinic at school, and they said, well, you have school insurance, so you can go to these dentists. Here's the list of them. So I went to the dentist, and they said, yeah, you do need a root canal. I said, okay, well, all right, if that's going to take away this massive headache. And but they said, all of your mercury amalgam fillings should be replaced. And I said, well, why? They said, well, they've been in there a long time. I said, how much is that going to cost? Nothing. We're going to completely restore your mouth and just do it right. But the problem was, this was 1975. they took out all my mercury amalgam fillings without using a dam to protect me from getting the exposure of all that mercury that was going to be dislodged. And then they filled in my teeth with new mercury amalgam fillings. So I had them taken out and then put back in. And then when they did the buildup on the root canal, they put the liquid mercury amalgam. An amalgam is mercury 50%, silver, and nickel.
Ooh, heavy metals.
Heavy metals. And so I felt horrible after they finished everything. And then I started losing my hair. Every time I take a shower, I would see hundreds of hairs in the bottom of the shower. I get my hair thinned out. I developed big bags underneath my eyes. I got puffy and bloaty, gained a bunch of weight. I was fatigued, couldn't think straight. It was just hard to, figure out what was going on. I went to the clinic. They said, well, you're a vegetarian. You're a college student, meaning that, study hard, play hard on the weekends. And your dad died when he was 39. So genetically, you probably are inferior based on that. And so, I kind of bought the idea that it was just my health and it didn't have anything to do with the metals. And it wasn't until later I had to keep on going to different doctors and providers. And finally I got heavy metal tested and looked at my hair and found that I was through the roof on nickel and mercury. So it's been a long journey for me. And that's really one of the main things we just wanted to pass on to you. Hopefully you don't have a story like I do, but that just realize that we're exposed to a lot of chemicals and toxins in the world, and we need to be able to flourish and get our body to detoxify as much as we can. And so these periodic times of cleansing and fasting and doing protocols will only help our longevity and increase our vitality and help our health to flourish.
Yeah. So let's dive into the top 10 toxins that we're exposed to on a daily basis. So we can kind of see, it's pretty crazy the range of places that we are actually exposed to toxins. Things that you wouldn't think are toxic can be very toxic. So this includes both heavy metals and other chemicals and toxins. So
let me hold this for a second. Well, just a couple little bits of data here. If you look at the effects of these chemicals and toxins and metals in our system, it can create hormone balance, estrogen dominance, thyroid disorders, autoimmune conditions. By the way, autoimmune conditions are more prevalent than cancer and heart disease. Autoimmunity is the #1 health problem in our country now. So if you look at MS, ALS, autoimmune thyroid, 80% of the thyroid disorders where people are told they have low thyroid and they should be taking Synthroid, 80% of those people have autoimmune thyroid. All they have to do is take a antithyroid globulin and a TPO antibody test when you're looking at your thyroid. Make sure if you get your blood done, you check for those two things, TPO antibodies and antithyroid globulin, because 80% of the people with low thyroid have autoimmune thyroid. Now, if they have autoimmune thyroid, it means it's not a thyroid problem. It's an autoimmune problem where your own body is attacking your thyroid gland, making you have low thyroid. But those people, it's been proven if you have autoimmunity that you should never touch gluten again.
Yeah.
That research is very prevalent. So when you start looking at these things, infertility, allergies, eczema, GI and gut issues, headaches, fatigue, cancer, the inability to lose that last stubborn 10 pounds, environmental toxins must be addressed. So, there's a few things, like if you want to, the BPA.
So now we're going through the top 10 toxins.
Yeah, top 10 toxins. BPA that you see will be, it was developed as a synthetic estrogen, but it's been used in the manufacturing of plastic since 1950.
So you see those like little water bottles that say BPA free, that's because BPA is not good. We want to stay away from it. So we can find it in even cash register receipts. It's found in canned foods, dental sealants, So BPA is found to be linked to endocrine disruption and weight gain, obesity, metabolic disorders, a bunch of things. So that's BPA.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two.
And it's called phthalates, and these chemicals are used to soften plastics, and even it's used in fragranced products. So, like scented candles, air fresheners, personal care products. I mean, most personal care products have some fragrance in them.
Yeah.
That's why we recommend people go to an organic, makeup place. We have a great one
Non-toxic.
here in town, non-toxic, called Roots,
Mhm.
and they do a great job, and they can help to replace the stuff that you're putting on your body with natural products.
Anytime a product says fragrance, that means that word fragrance can encapsulate hundreds of different chemicals. So you never want to use anything that says fragrance.
Mhm.
Number three.
Well, household cleaners, laundry products, nail polish, soft plastic like
This is all
shower
phthalates.
curtains, food packaging, vinyl flooring, window blinds, electric wiring, house dust. I mean, it's pretty weird, but it can be linked to so many different problems.
Mhm.
Testicular cancer, asthma, breast cancer, ADD, ADHD, autism, um, you know, endocrine disruption. I mean, it goes on and on. You start thinking about, wow, people wonder, why in the world do I have this? Why in the world do I have that? Well, first, look to the things that we're having to deal with in our environment.
Mhm.
Now, do you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, toxic chemical number three is pesticides. So this is found in conventionally grown produce, home and garden treatments, veterinarian products, lice treatment, contaminated drinking water, farmed seafood, and house dust even, which is so crazy. You don't even think about that a lot of times,
And
right?
these pesticides, it's with gut dysbiosis. That means, overgrowth of yeast and parasitic problems, behavioral issues, ADHD, chronic fatigue, infertility, weight gain, and obesity. I mean, these are other things that disrupt normal function in our body.
Someone just asked if we'll be sending out this list. Yes, we will send it out to everybody who's on this webinar in an email. So look out for that.
Yeah.
Number four is flame retardant. So these are found in upholstered furniture, electronics, electronic wires and cables, textiles, car seats, house dust, airplanes, and that's linked to endocrine disruption, thyroid disorders, immune system problems, reproductive toxicity, and infertility, birth defects.
Early onset puberty, heart disease, obesity.
Mhm.
Then another one is methylmercury. It is a natural occurring element found in air, water, and soil, but even small amounts of exposure to mercury can cause serious health problems.
Mhm.
And those are what's found in dental amalgams, contaminated seafood, vaccine. They're used as preservatives in vaccines, fluorescent light bulbs, air pollution, things like that. And that leads to so many things, from memory loss, neurotoxicity, hair loss, cognitive disorders, irritability, anxiety, depression. You look at, we'll look at something else. I found the research on when they started using glyphosate, which is Roundup, and you start seeing right when they did it in the mid 70s, they start using it. Now it's been outlawed around the world except for America.
Wow.
Where they still use it. And by the way, Monsanto, who made it, was signed in by President Obama that they could never be held responsible for the horrible effects on people's health. They could never be sued for using Roundup and all the negative effects they would have on us.
Wow.
Yeah. So good luck. The only way that they ever did it, and I was just hearing, if you want more information on a lot of this stuff, I would go to Children's Health Defense Fund by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He's the one with the straight talk on heavy metals and their challenges, how they ruined the fishing industry, and how he helped clean up Hudson Bay with water keepers. And you'll really hear the story about heavy metals and how they play out, and why this is the reason why he's really concerned about most vaccinations that still have heavy metals in them. So if you want the real science, no one will debate Robert F. Kennedy Jr., no pharmaceutical companies, no vaccination companies, they won't debate him. because they've done it in the past, and he's completely embarrassed them with science. Here's the science that refutes that. Here's the science of that. So it's Children's Health Defense Fund, and go to that. You can become a member, and they've got so much data and great place to have as a resource for what's really going on in the world right now, especially right now. You know, we all know what we're dealing with. So anyhow, then let's talk about lead. Lead is
number 6.
Yeah, lead is number 6. It can cause acute and chronic health problems, and exposure even to the developing fetus and young children are the most damaging. So that can be in plumbing and water fixtures, contaminated water, imported candy, interior, exterior paint used to have lead in them, leaded crystal, some pottery, vinyl flooring, vinyl blinds, electric cords, PVC products, and that can be linked to early onset menopause, miscarriages, high blood pressure, autoimmune diseases, endocrine disruption, depression, fatigue, headaches. I mean, you see it keeps on going with symptom based on just another toxin.
So this is one of the heavy metals. So some of the toxins we're going through are heavy metals. Some are other chemical toxins. Lead is a heavy metal. Mercury is a heavy metal. So is nickel. The next one is PCBs. This is found in high-fat foods, contaminated seafood, contaminated water, house dust. It's linked to endocrine disruption, birth defects, infertility, low IQ, diabetes, thyroid disruption. So these are just, I mean, man, it's like how many places these things are found. Next one is, do you know how to pronounce it?
Well, it's perfluorinated chemicals,
Okay,
basically PFCs, PFAs, chemicals used to make products stick and stain resistant, like your Teflon pans. Throw them away. Just throw them away.
Throw them out.
Please throw them out. Go to your container and throw those things away. Just get rid of them. Don't recycle them either. Just throw them away. It's also been used in widespread drinking water contamination. They're extremely persistent. Non-stick cookware, grease-proof food packaging, stain and water-resistant treatments, dental floss even. Some dental floss has it.
Dang.
Rain and windproof clothing, outdoor gear like raincoats, firefighting foam, and same type of things that it's linked to: endocrine disorders, hyperactivity, ADHD, asthma. And another one, you want to do
Arsenic.
This one?
So arsenic is a natural component of the Earth's crust and is therefore widely distributed in the environment. Inorganic arsenic is naturally present in underground and drinking water, is a primary exposure source. Arsenic is also found in rice products, tobacco, chicken, and playground decking materials treated with a form of arsenic. So we want to check and with rice, one thing you can do is make sure that you rinse it out before you eat it, right?
True.
And
Yeah.
that can help. But this is linked to skin, lung, and bladder cancer, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, gout, preterm birth, reduced IQ.
We're just really making you feel good here today, aren't we?
Yeah.
Just like,
don't worry,
holy
the good
smoke.
news is coming.
Yeah.
Number 10.
Volatile organic chemicals. They're basically compounds that are emitted as gases. And so any fragranced items, personal care products, household cleaners, particle board, paints, varnishes, cosmetic art supplies, building materials, permanent markers, those are, you can smell all those things. And those are that's number 10. And you just think about, man, this is the stuff that we've all been exposed to most of our life.
Yeah.
And we talked about glyphosate, which is Roundup. And that's linked with autism, diabetes, Alzheimer's, dementia, autoimmune diseases, inability to lose weight. These things really get into our system, and we've got to start having ways to remove them, and that's what we've done. And so there's many different ways to do it. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
Because there's very intensive fasts and detoxifications. I've done almost every single one that I know of. But then there's other ones that are more gradual, kind of like the one we did a few months back.
Yeah. So what, after going through all those top 10 toxins, you're probably at a point of being a little bit overwhelmed. It's like, whoa, Toxins are found in everything. Like, how do we get away from them? If they're in the wiring in our house, in our dust, in our food, in our products, like, oh my goodness, like that is so, how do you have to live in a bubble? How do you get away from these things? Well, there are definite ways that we can be very wise and aware of the toxins that we're being exposed to in our products. Like we said, we use all non-toxic beauty products and skin care and cleaning products and all that. We can also be very aware of our food and make really healthy choices. So there's a lot that we can do, but also we are going to be exposed at one point or another to toxins.
Every day.
So with that, we need to basically know how to detox, because detoxing is going to keep us from that heavy metal, toxic load that our bodies are going to be in when we're being exposed to these toxins on a day-to-day basis. So we need to do something. So that's why we recommend doing continual detoxes throughout the year. Like we really like a cycle of 3 detoxes throughout the year: January, pre-summer, post-summer. So we're stepping into our fall detox. It's a really good time to detox. Right after summer, you've had a lot of fun, maybe eating more sugar than you normally do or whatever, just kind of celebrate it in the summer mode of things. And then before we get into the holidays where we're in some more celebratory mode, right now is a really good time to stop, reset the body, focus inward on what needs to be done in our bodies to clean out and really get ourselves reset and start to see some of these symptoms decrease, start to both prevent more health problems and see some of the symptoms that you might be experiencing decrease: the brain fog, the digestive challenges, the weight loss resistance, the immune disruption. So some of the benefits of detoxing I want to talk a little bit about. So detoxing can help to boost immunity. It can help to scavenge abnormal cells, phagocytosis that's called. It helps us to actually lose weight, because fat cells are what hold on to, well, they actually protect our body from toxins. So when we have toxins, the body puts the toxins within the fat cell. So sometimes we don't lose weight because our body's actually protecting ourselves from those toxins.
It's kind of like if you only have the trash truck come to your house once a week, and if you start dumping more and more and more trash in there, but the trash truck hasn't come in, now you've got trash overflowing, and that gets pretty nasty, and the flies and the maggots and everything. It's just too much. So doing it in a way that helps your body to be able to eliminate is really important.
Yeah. So there's so many benefits of detoxing, and hopefully from us going through all those toxins, you realize the effect that those have on your body and why it is so vital for us to stay healthy in this day and age, to be detoxing on a regular basis.
Right. Can we talk about, I mean, there are so many great ways to detox, and some of them are very popular and may not get to the true cellular level. What we're trying to do is show you different avenues and different options that you have available. If you want to go into something much more on a cellular level, I've studied, and so has Maria, with Dr. Daniel Pompa, True Cellular Detox. You can get all kinds of information. We're going to suggest that some of the products that he recommends are being used. And I did like a 10-day water fast on his protocol a year and a half ago. And for me, that was a really good reset. I just went up to my friend's ranch in the mountains and just did it, and wrote and prayed and worked on the land and sang, and just had a really good time to just go back. And then I remember on the 10th day in the afternoon, I had an avocado that was ripe. It was glorious.
So glorious.
But, there's very significant fasts that you can do, even 5-day fasts. I'm just getting ready to start my 5-day fast before even this other cleanse, where I'm going to take the True Cellular Detox program and do it for myself, because it's a continual process, and I want to stay my best and not have autoimmunity continue. See, I ended up getting autoimmunity from my heavy metal exposure, and my
Yeah.
body started to attack my own cartilage. It started to attack the myelin sheath, which is what can lead to MS and dementia, alpha beta tubulins, which leads to Alzheimer's, dementia. So my body already started to attack itself. And that's
Hmm.
why 10 years ago was the last time I had wheat or corn, or drank a regular beer.
Hmm.
It's just I did the tests and I found out I've got autoimmunity. Wow.
Yeah.
And so you look at your future and you think, well, what's it going to look like if this continues to go?
Hmm.
And I saw the future of a guy in a wheelchair with MS that doesn't know who anybody is, and all of his joints are degenerative and can hardly move. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, is that what I want for myself? Nope.
No,
So
it's not.
ounce of prevention is worth a ton of cure. And so what we're suggesting is let's just get started on the process. Give yourself a break. Take a vacation
Hmm.
from the top 5. You want to talk about that at all?
Well, before we get into that, so I just want to hit on the fact that not all detoxes are equal. So, some people do like a juice cleanse, and there's so many different types of cleanses and detoxes. But what we want you to realize is that with detoxing, sometimes there's a lot of toxins that you're actually going to be releasing into your body when you're going through a detox. And if you don't detox properly, it can actually end up being harmful to your body because you can reabsorb the toxins in a place that you don't want those toxins to be, like in the brain. Because when you don't have something, a binding agent to bind to the toxins that are being released, it can actually do damage. So what we've put together, our detox package, we call Detox to Flourish. And we've put together the best of what we think is the best of so many products that Dr. Gary and Dr. Lisa have been using for years, and what they've seen really work.
And new products that have come on the market through Dr. Daniel Pompa.
Exactly.
And it's not like a juice fast. It's
Hmm.
not a liver cleanse. It's not a colon cleanse. It's not just taking chlorella or different things that we think. It's more comprehensive, and I think that's really the key is using binding agents so they can be like a catcher's mitt when your liver dumps those toxins. Those charcoal and that binding agent is there to grab onto it and excrete it.
Yeah. So with that, we're launching 2 exciting detoxes, both starting on October 2nd. You can start with us on October 2nd, or you can start, in your own timing. And I'm going to lay out what those 2 are looking like. But basically, we have a standard 2-week detox, and then we have an advanced 4-week detox. So just kind of based on you and where you're at, how long you want to commit, how deep you want to go, what benefits you want to see, you can choose the 2-week or the 4-week. We're also this week, what we're doing so that you can really understand how much do you need this detox. We're going to be doing heavy metal testing consultations in the office. So we'll send you an email kind of with details on that, but you can also call us today to schedule. And those are basically going to be where we're going to be doing 3 different tests here in the office to determine what are your levels of toxicity and how much do you need to detox. And then from there, we can kind of also point you in the right direction of whether we think the 2-week or the 4-week would be a better option for you. But I want to lay out what those 2 look like and what the supplements are included, the diet, all that good stuff.
Good. Let's first talk about mindset. You've got to leverage yourself. You've got to get ready and just say, okay, I'm going to take a vacation. I'm going to take a vacation from my regular way of being, my regular way of eating. And the reason I'm going to take a vacation is because I know down deep that I want to be healthier. I want to have more vitality. I'd like to let go of some extra pounds or not. You don't have to, if you're already slender and you don't need to let go of any extra weight, that's fine. You just add more calories into your protocol.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to need to look at what happens if you don't detox? Well, hopefully we've already set the table and you've seen how many health problems. So what happens if you don't? But what happens if you do?
Mm-hmm.
And what benefits are you going to gain? And you're going to make, we had an interview just after we finished our last two-week
Yeah.
cleanse. So there's an interview in our backyard with a number of us that did the detox,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to make that available.
Mm-hmm.
How are they going to find that?
That's actually on our website. It's has been sent out as email, and we'll be sending it out again as well. So you guys are all on our email
Yeah,
list.
and that gets you to kind of look at, well, what's the reward on the other side of having, taken a break from a lot of the foods that I normally eat, and then taking these supplements, powders, detoxifiers, binders to help to take that stuff out. And we all felt fantastic.
Oh yeah, I felt so good. It's like you kind of get to this point where you're just like, I just want to get back on the detox because I just felt so good.
Yeah.
Like your body's just thriving.
And we had a lot of people that just, like Abby Crane and her family, they said, no, we're going to keep on going for 2 more weeks. And then that's what kind of gave us the idea, well, there may be more people that want to continue on. I just had a patient come in yesterday, and she's been on it for 5 weeks. She's dropped 19 pounds. Her skin has cleared up. Her hair stopped falling out.
Mm-hmm.
She's lost a bunch of weight. She feels fantastic. She's got plenty of energy. She hasn't been on coffee. She's going, I feel just like amazing. I mean, we wish we could have, videotaped what she was telling everybody. I said, hey, would you just tell my whole staff so they can see this and catch the fever of how good she feels.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's, the leverage and set your time. It's like, okay, as of this time, I will determine that I'm going to stay the course. I don't care what else is going on, what my temptations are, house I'm going over for dinner. I'll call them in advance. Just let them know, hey, by the way, I'm doing a detox. I'm doing a cleanse. Here's what I can eat during this time. And, you just figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, okay, so here's what it looks like. You're probably like, what do I do? What is the detox? So, number one, you're going to be eliminating 5 food groups. So it's going to be no sugar, no alcohol, no caffeine, no grains, and no dairy. That's the gist of it. There's a few.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's kind of
What
hard.
else is there to eat?
Green beans.
Well, you got all your protein sources.
Yes.
You got eggs. You've got any kind of fish, any kind of meat, except for farm fish.
Mm-hmm.
Any kind of meat. You have all your vegetables. You have all your fruits. Mm-hmm. Everything should be organic. And you have water to drink. You can put lemon or lime in your water.
Mm-hmm.
We don't suggest
nuts.
Yeah, nuts. Yeah, raw nuts, raw organic nuts.
Mm-hmm.
You can make smoothies.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of different things. You're gonna have plenty of food. I wouldn't worry about that.
We have a lot of, when you join, we have a whole membership site that basically gives you all this amazing info. You have recipes up on there. You have a bunch of different detox videos on like a lot of different things you can be doing to really enhance your detox, like dry brushing and saunas and what you can do for exercise and how you can improve your lymphatic drainage. So there's a bunch of really awesome tools for you to use during your detox to get that much more out of it. But there's so much you can eat, and people find amazing replacements during the detox that they end up eating forever afterwards because they're like, oh my gosh, this is better than what I was eating before. Like, why was I even eating what I was eating? Like, I love the way I'm eating now. So that's what's really cool is you incorporate a lot of new things into your lifestyle moving forward that are just healthier choices. So it's really awesome.
Yeah, you just take a break. Just take a little break from all that stuff.
I'm gonna show
for 2 to 4 weeks, and this is all very clearly laid out in all of the data that Maria has done such an incredible job of preparing. I'm just super impressed and proud of my daughter for doing all she's doing, and now she's got Stephanie helping her out, and Stephanie's going to do the cleanse right along with us.
Thank you, darling.
Yeah.
So I just want to show you guys what the supplements look like for the detox, and we'll be sending you, when you sign up, you'll have the, you know, the whole instruction packet that tells you when to take what supplements and how many and all the details. So don't worry about, you know, writing it down and getting it all now, because you'll have the info, but just kind of want to give you a basic overview of what it looks like. So in the morning, you'll be doing a fiber that really helps with GI cleansing and cleaning out the digestive system. So you'll start the day with that. And then in the middle of the day, you're going to be doing this powder called OptiCleanse.
Well, actually, for breakfast and for lunch, if they want to.
Yeah.
You
Well,
can make smoothies.
Yeah, a lot of people do intermittent fasting during this detox. So you can basically start your day with the fiber and then wait to eat till like late lunch or midday. If you want to have breakfast, totally. You can have eggs. There's lots you can eat. But if you want to do the intermittent fast, wait till midday. And a lot of people will do a smoothie midday with this OptiCleanse and the GI Resolve. So the OptiCleanse is basically a detoxification support. There are eight processes of detoxification?
Well, there's two main ones, and this basically supports you nutritionally to go through the two main phases. Under each one, there are subcategories. We don't need to get into all the science right now, but this basically is the foundation. And I've used everything from Ultra Clear, Mediclear, Clearvite, I mean, all these different companies. I think this is the best product for the value that you're getting. And just look at it like this is basically a food replacement, a meal replacement. You don't have to make a smoothie, but when you do make the smoothie, we've talked to you how to do it. You don't want to blend this heavily. This goes in at the very end. So if you're going to take your water and organic fruits and organic nuts and maybe a handful of organic power greens, throw those all in the blender, blend it all up until it's nice and smooth, then turn off the blender and stick in your scoop or 2 scoops of this, blend it for 1 to 2 seconds, and then you're good to go. Then stick it in your Hydro Flask, and you've got yourself an incredible meal that you know will keep your blood sugar level maintained. That's why we put the nuts in there for some good fats to keep that blood sugar level nice and maintained. And this basically helps to support your liver so it can not only detoxify, but it can handle breaking down fat cells and the toxins that are going to be loosened into your system. And that's what we're trying to do, is work along with your body's ability to do what it's supposed to do, but what it's having a hard time doing because it's so burdened living in such a chemically toxic world. 84,000 different chemicals we're exposed to.
So then you're going to also be doing the GI Resolve along with the OptiCleanse. You can put that in your smoothie. And this is for gut repair. So many of us have gut issues, and we, you know, anytime you take antibiotics, anything like that, it's going to disrupt the function in your GI tract.
The flora gets
there's going to be leaky gut.
And this helps to repair the leaky gut. Glutamine and different supplements are in there, but leaky gut happens where the holes in your intestinal tract should be as small as a strainer, a really fine strainer, so that only completely digested food and nutrients particles can get into the bloodstream. So that's done by chewing your food really well, making sure that you have proper enzymes and hydrochloric acid in the stomach, and then that process of snipping the food into small little amino acid chains so that then the small pieces of food can go into the blood to get pushed where they need to be to help us stay healthy. The problem is that instead of a strainer hole, leaky gut that is made happen by glyphosate, Roundup, which we're all exposed to unless we're eating completely organic, and now it's in our environment like crazy. That will cause these holes to get bigger and bigger like a colander. And so then what happens is undigested food gets into the bloodstream. The white blood cells start to freak out. What is this doing in the bloodstream? So the white blood cells come around that large particle of food, which may have just been good food, but it's not completely digested because it got through the big holes. Now they start shooting chemical bullets at it, which are like histamines, bradykinin, cytokines, to break down that thing that looks like a foreign invader. So that's why healing up the gut, so many people have bloating, distension, nausea, heartburn, all these different things. I mean, the number one prescribed or the number one taken product is antacids. It's
Yep.
like, why?
Yeah.
Because your digestion's messed up.
Super messed up.
That helps that.
So I'm going to finish going through these, and then we have a special gift for all of you who are on the webinar to actually get a discount on your detox today because you joined us. So that's going to be really exciting. We're going to be sending out the link to you so that you guys can get all your product and get started. But next, you'll be taking this Liver X. This is going to help with methylation support and supporting your liver detoxification process. You'll also be doing, this is the woman's version of the minerals, but we'll be sending you just the general plant source minerals. It's so important for our bodies to have the minerals that they need to be able to function properly and go through the detoxification process. And lastly, at night, you'll be taking your fiber again, the metafiber. This helps to grab those toxins. And then this is the very important part that we talked about, the catcher's mitt, that actually binds to the toxins that we're releasing and eliminates them out of our body. So you'll be taking these at night. It's a charcoal. It combines a lot of different charcoal.
4 different types. And this is Dr. Pompa's product that we use as well.
And so this will be the grabber's mitt at night. Now, that is the 2-week detox. For the advanced, you're going to be adding in something called Cyto Detox, which really goes into the cell. It's formulated specifically to bind to the cell wall and actually get into the cell to get the toxins out of on a cellular level. So this is really vital and important. This will be for those of you who want to do the advanced 4-week process. And along with the advanced 4-week process, you'll be doing some fasting. We're asking that you do basically 24-hour fast 1 day a week. If you can't fast, that's okay. We can walk you through it, but fasting is so important for your health. And so we'll be giving you this fast tonic that's going to be a little pellet that you'll take during those fasting days that's going to give you the things you need to really fast well. And also, those of you doing the 2-week can also fast. You won't be having the fast tonic, but fasting is so important and vital. You can fast really anytime you need and want.
And we'll be doing more with fasting in the upcoming seasons to show people that, do want to go deeper on a more cellular level. But this is we're giving you a good starting entry point, and then there's more.
There's a lot of levels to detoxing heavy metals, and it can be quite a process. So we want to get people started on what it can look like, but there's more, like you said, that we're going to be releasing. But for this fall, we're going to be doing the 2-week standard and the 4-week advanced. I just want to show you really quickly what this looks like, what the pricing is like, and then what we're actually offering you guys today as our beloved people that are on our webinar. So Detox to Flourish. So these are the 2 options here. We have our standard 2 weeks. Those are the supplements that are included. And then you'll be doing the diet. And with both of these includes your membership. So you'll be having all the stuff online that basically tells you what to do, gives you all the detox tools. You'll also be doing a consultation with one of our team members before you get started on the phone to ask any questions you have. So the standard 2-week, here's the pricing here for individuals. And then you can also do it as a couple with a friend or family member or your spouse. And that kind of takes the price down a little bit when you do it together. And then we also have the advanced 4-week, and here's the pricing for individual and couples as well. So we want to offer that to you, everybody who's on today. What we're going to be doing is we're going to send you an email right now with a link to purchase your detox, and you're actually going to get 10% off. Yay! So those pricings that you see up right now, that won't be your pricing. You'll be getting 10% off that. That includes shipping to any of you who are not in the area. Shipping too?
Whoa.
I know. It's amazing. So that includes that if you're not in the area. If you're in the area, you can come stop by, pick up your package. And also, if you want to do the consultation for the heavy metal testing, we're going to be doing that this week. And it's $45 to come in and do the consultation, but $25 of that is going to go towards your detox. So you can do that as well. That's a great option to see what your heavy metal levels are. But if you want to
Well,
get
it's
the
not a
10,
blood test. It's not necessarily going to give you the numerical value of.
yeah, it's just gonna give you, there's a urine test that's
Right.
incorporated, a vision test, and
Right. Questionnaire.
a questionnaire.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna give you like a gist of, how toxic are you. But those are the basic 2 detoxes. We're going to be sending you your email right now, so that you can get your discount as our webinar guest. And we hope you join us, you guys. It is amazing. The benefits are so wonderful. People just see so much healing. And
And take a look at that interview in our backyard of all
Yeah.
of us that just got done with it, because we were all just glowing,
we were.
so happy,
Yep.
and what we had done.
Mhm.
And then the testimonials that we got were just amazing. We had people all over the country and different states, Hawaii, and all kinds of people that jumped on board with us. We had quite a group of people that did it last time. So
Yeah, it was so fun. People all over the country were hopping on, and we're expecting that a lot more people are going to join this time too, and just